Alright everybody, today I want to talk about my Primal Rage PCB arcade board. As you can tell, it's definitely a very massive board. It's the largest arcade board that I own. It probably weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. It's huge. Few differences with this board. For the most part, it is JAMMA compliant, but there's a few differences in this plug here and the JAMMA harness. It does not pass any audio through the JAMMA plug. It uses a separate audio board right here. So you have to do a little finagling in order to get it to work in your cabinet if you don't have a dedicated, Primal Rage cab. These pins right here on this board, this is the amp, the audio amp, and these pins are the ones that pass your audio. And I have two wires I soldered on. One's the right, one's the left. Audio speaker, right and left, soldered to the pin. There's extra pins here. You can solder in a subwoofer. Has a output for sub. So in order to get this guy working, you have to hardwire your audio lines to the amplifier board right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder these RCA female ends to the ends of the stereo lines that I've got soldered to the amplifier board, and use this adapter here plug these in, and on the other end it has got a standard headphone jack, and that is going to plug, you probably can't see it from here because of the light, I have a receiver down in there. Let's see. I'm going to plug it into the back of my receiver, and hopefully we will get some audio off of this board. And there is a few other differences with the wiring as far as the buttons go, but we'll get this installed. I'm going to solder up these wires, see if we can't get this jack to work in my receiver, and once I have it in, I'll talk about the pinout as far as buttons are concerned. Alright, now as you can see, I had just soldered in the left and right audio lines on the board. So we're going to go ahead, throw this in the cabinet, and hook up our newly soldered audio jacks and see what happens. Alright, so we're pretty much ready to give this a shot. So I've got the board installed into my cabinet, and there's the audio amp. Here are my two leads that I soldered on, and because of the light you can't see my amp, it's like hidden in here, but anyways, I've got the stereo jack plugged into the amp, and we're going to go ahead and give it a shot and see what happens here. A bit difficult time doing that one-handed. Alright, so let's power this on, and hopefully we will get some audio. Let's turn the amplifier on first. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit down there. Go ahead and flip the switch. Oh, by the way, this was the arcade machine I've been refurbing. Brand new monitor in there. I'm going to shut the lights off here. And yeah, you see a difference if you watch the first video I did. So let's power it on. Listen to that. I've got one speaker up here. I've got another speaker down here on my radiator. You can just barely see it. I'm going to mount those in the cabinet. I'm pretty much going to use the external amplifier for all the boards, the newer boards that have an actual RCA stereo out. I'm going to use that for, you know, directly plug into that. All the other boards, Neo Geo, like my Tekken 2, they're all going to run through the mono sound that's in the cabinet. Actually, this is a dedicated Neo Geo cabinet, so it's actually set up for stereo, but wired to MVS, the 4 slot. So, but yeah, sounds awesome. So, the other thing I wanted to show, let me flip the lights back on, is how it's wired. So here's your control panel. Buttons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Normally buttons, you know, on other systems, button 4 is usually from a kick harness. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get it right off the main jamma. But this one's a little bit different. Primal Rage does not have a player 1 or player 2 start button. It uses the first button. Your I don't know if it's high punch or whatever. Your first, you know, button A is your start button, and it's also one of your punch or kick buttons. So when I first installed the board, I noticed that when you plug your jamma plug directly into it, that your start button starts the game, as you can see I just did, and it also uses the kick or high fierce, I don't know, whatever one. So this is me pushing the player 1 start button, and then you have your other buttons work. Alright, so what you have to do is, what I did was I jumpered off of the start button here, switch, and I wired it into, and I jumpered it into the 4th button here. So I'll show you 1 minute. Alright, so this is a standard wire harness crimped end button, or wire, not button, it goes to a button. So what I do is I jump the one end off of the start button, a little tough doing this one-handed. There we go. Alright. And then jumper the other end into the 4th button. There. Sorry. Now you can see it. I just jumpered it from the start button to the 4th button. That's, you know, that's how this board runs. So now, oh, one of my other buttons fell off here. Hang on 1 second. The plugs. Alright. So now you can hit, if you hit the D button, it's going to actually start the game because it thinks it's the start button, but it's also acting as your other kick button. Hope all this is making sense. I'm doing my best, as I don't make very many videos so far, so I'm getting used to doing stuff and talking at the same time. So yeah, now this button is now working. Our 4th button. That button's working. and these two buttons are now working. And that's how you throw a Primal Rage board into a JAMMA cabinet. That's not a dedicated Primal Rage cabinet. So, like I said before, all we did was, because off the JAMMA harness, your start button is your actual D button or fourth button. We jumpered it from here to the fourth button. So now all of these in session now work. Along with your, player start actually still does the same move as the D button. We just don't use it. That's all. I mean, you can use it as a start button because it'll actually start the game. So yeah, I hope that helps anybody who wants to throw a Primal Rage board in arcade cab. So yeah, I'll have another video soon. Thanks for watching.